Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another day here at Phoenix Esports. I am Bickle, joined today by Romeo. We are going to be bringing you Clown Gaming Spartans taking on Final Bastion. Romeo, we're heading right into draft. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, Bickle?
I'm doing pretty well. A bit of a delay starting things up as we do have some subs coming in from both sides, but things have been figured out, it seems, and we're heading straight into draft.
Yes, and it should be mentioned that this delay was caused by a plethora of E-subs being brought in on both sides, so it's neither of these teams starting rosters. What do you make of that?
I expect chaos, is all I will say. Final Bastion so far 6-0, yet to drop a game. Clown Gaming Spartans sitting 6-4. Dropped a game or two, have taken games off some relatively strong teams. We will have to see how things pair out. Both teams, it seems, have waived the ban loss for each other, so we do get a full range of bans, but heading right into draft with a B1 Seraphine.
And following that, we're going to have the Sejuani Bard, and I think this game's going to be really interesting, just because you imagine the communication's going to be a little bit off on both sides with the E-subs, right? So I'm almost wondering if it's smart to draft bloodier champions and try to thrive in the chaos of what might happen, especially if you're Clown Gaming.
Absolutely. Looking at things all around, I believe it is Clown Gaming running with a sub top laner and support, whereas the side of Final Bastion is running with a sub jungler. So, the side of Final Bastion, losing your jungler can be tough at times, whereas if you're looking over at a top laner, they're usually on an island. Communication doesn't matter all that much, but Clown going with a nice scaling bot lane, it seems like, picking up that Sivir against something as oppressive as the Caitlyn.
I think it makes sense if you're going to have a sub-support to pick a scaling bot lane, just because you can just kind of lay back and you don't have to trust each other as much. More about just staying alive unless a tower dive were to occur, right? And with the with Final Bastion having a sub-jungler, I mean, tower dive's going to be a lot harder to communicate if they don't have any practice with the sub, right? I think this game's very heavily about what happens with these three subs, to be completely honest with you.
Absolutely. Both junglers, though, looking at the ganking style. We bring out the J4 for Clown Gaming Spartans, opposing the Sejuani coming in for Final Bastion. Obviously, if you have a sub-jungler, the easiest thing to do is stick them on a tank and have them gank.
Stick them on a tank and have them gank as a bar, and it perfectly encapsulates all of Season 13 so far.
Absolutely. The response for Final Bastion at support's going to be that Braum. Good defensive pick. We are, of course, on 13.3. Those buffs to a couple of melee supports have come in. Braum now getting a bit... His stun can come a bit earlier due to his level scaling, and more importantly, he gets some extra armor and magic resist off of his W.
And I think it's also worth mentioning the synergy between Braum and Sejuani when it comes to stacking her E, and Braum's passive as well, I forget what that one's called, is very, very strong between the two. Like, if you're getting attacked by these two, you're not moving.
Nope. Just the lockdown of the Freljord is going to be there. We are heading into the second phase of bans. Solo lanes appear to be the targets. Zoe taken away by Final Bastion. Renekton away from Clown Gaming, with Alawi also being taken off the table.
The split pusher being denied from Clown Gaming, which is, rather interesting. I mean, usually you don't see too much beer, except I've seen Yorick banned a couple times in this league. But usually you don't see much of an Alawi pick, because if you dodge that E, if you're confident in dodging that E, it's usually not a threat.
Absolutely. Of course, Slap Games, the top laner for Clown Gaming this time, is the sub, so maybe they're just saying, we're taking away your comfort, we don't know what to expect from you. I have not looked into him. Maybe it's one of his most played. Beats me. The answer, though, Final Bastion going to go with the Akali lock-in. It seems like it's coming in. I'm not going to comment. There it is. Locked in for the mid lane. Going to Rams.
That's a hardcore, confident pick right there when you're drafting Akali mid. You are expecting to dominate your lane opponent if that's going to be the case. Although I have seen Akali top brought out a couple of times, so they could work it as a flex if they really wanted to. But yeah, I would imagine it's going on Rams.
And here's what you expect when you have a sub-top laner. You stick him on tank duty. And what better tank is there than the unstoppable force Malphite?
The giant rock, he's just going to fly at you as soon as that ultimate comes online. I expect the TP to be brought out, definitely to have some impact, but I'm curious to see whether Final Bastion's going to look to match it with another, like an Orin or something that can heavily impact team fights, or if they're going to go for something to stop Malphite in lane and open having either like a strong Fiora or like a split pusher really going to the side of against the Malphite.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see what exactly comes around. But Clown Gaming bringing out the recently buffed Annie. So oppressive, she was actually hotfix nerfed. Her shield just made it impossible to trade against her. Now getting that reflect damage anytime an auto attack or ability hits her, she just auto wins trades.
Annie has been a solo queue terrorist since those buffs. And man, like, when did that hotfix nerf come out? Was that yesterday or today?
It was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
They said, yep, we messed up.
She's still so strong. Like, some of the people who got buffed last patch are insanely strong, but also, we're going to get the Gwen here into the Malphite, which is definitely a pick that says, I'm going to run at you, make sure you can't come out of laning phase, and survive with a pulse.
Absolutely. Gwen is going to be that dominant side lane threat as time goes on. Really going to be looking at Final Bastion to try and play around this. Look for them to get the Gwen ahead, as that side laning threat is something that cannot be matched.
Absolutely. Between these few comps, we're definitely looking at Clown looking to get that Sivir and Seraphine combo in that bot lane to scale up, while Annie and Jarvan kind of do the most of the work until team fights come. Whereas on Final Bastion side, they seem to have a very, very early to like early mid-game centric comp here, where they're looking to smash the first 15 minutes of the game and then just ride out on their gold lead.
Absolutely. Final Bastion really trying to take the bull by the horns there, using this Caitlyn to get some lane dominance alongside the Braum. Just hoover up those turret plates wherever she can. Get Gwen as this menace in the side lane, being the AP threat. Malphite always, of course, wants to go into that armor. Having to deal with the AP of Gwen is really going to be difficult for him.
Yeah, I can't imagine that's going to be too fun. I think if you're slap games here, you're literally just trying to get any good trade you can the first couple levels, and then just hugging your wave until you can get to that level 6, and just find other ways to impact the map, whether it's rotating mid, TPing to dragon fight, stuff like that. You're really waiting for that 14-minute mark to hit.
Absolutely. Now, Romeo, taking a look at what both these squads are bringing to the table, who are you favoring coming into game number 1 here?
Honestly, if this was any other night, I would have to go with Clown Gaming's comp, just because I think they're so teamfight oriented that, like, if they can survive past the 15-minute mark and have good communication, it's kind of their game. However, that being said, tonight we have E-subs all over the place, and I think picking a bloody comp like Final Bastion did, where their goal is to get as much kills as they can in the first 15 minutes of the game, take away all the tower plating, and just have match dominance by minute 15, I kind of lean towards Final Bastion on this one.
I think I'm right there with you. I like the comp that Final Bastion is bringing towards the table. They are our undefeated 6-0 team at the moment. We've seen Velikos dominate the top side, and Gwen is one of the picks that they're going to look to continue that trend with.
Yeah, well, I think with that, we're going to go ahead and send it over to the delay as we wait out the spectator delay, and we will see you guys on the Rift for Game 1 of Final Bastion versus Clown Gaming.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into our first game of the day here between Clown Gate and Spartans and Final Bastion, heading on to the Rift. Everybody starting off. Going to be interesting to see if we have an invade, of course, Sheba on this Annie. Now with the fact that her Pyromancy passive is automatically stacked, has such an easy CC off the board, but looks like we're in the standard 5-point.
The thing with their comp is I don't think they win at level 1, to be completely honest with you.
No,
it would definitely be difficult, but Sejuani walking up like that, I mean, a little bit risky still.
Just a little bit. Seems like Sport Boy just trying to get a bit of information, gets the ward onto Sheba. Was looking for the back, not going to have anything though.
Now, I imagine if you're the junglers in this game, it's hard to determine what side you focus. Honestly, if I'm Tigsy, I'm probably focusing mid, to be completely honest. And with Sport Boy, he can really take his pick, right? Gwen, I believe, stacks him kind of nicely. And, of course, his bot lane's got the Braum there, where they can definitely do some damage. But I imagine early ganks might come out of both these junglers. You could definitely see some 3 camps into ganking top if they really chose. And that top lane might heavily be impacted by whoever gets there first.
Absolutely. And something to note, both bot sides here cleanse heal between the AD carries and the supports. They're playing this as safe as possible.
I think it makes a lot of sense to go cleanse considering how much CC are on both these teams. Of course, Annie's done and Seraphine Encore is what you're looking for with Kate. And then on the other side, I mean, just everything with Sejuani and Braum, right? Like,
absolutely.
They are looking to hold you down, and that spell shield probably isn't going to be enough for the both of them.
Yep, Velikos up top side, using that skip and slash to get the extra auto range and attack speed, getting some good trading back and forth, chunking down JK a little bit. Mid lane, though, we do see a gank off the flag drag, but Rams is going to be fine. Rams opting for the TP Ignite, not running that flash. Meanwhile, topside as well, Velikos, Ghost TP, no flash on either of the solo lanes out of Final Bastion.
Now, what's super scary about what just happened for Clown Gaming is Jarvan didn't clear his Raptors before making that gank, and he's gonna still be level 2. Meanwhile, Sejuani is looking for some things, maybe an invade, and if she goes for the invade, she's got a full level over Jarvan.
Absolutely, and Velikos has complete prio over this top lane, absolutely chunking out full mana, most of her health, whereas JK already chunked down to half health, third mana, can just prio this invade, but Tigsy does manage to get, but there's the flash in, forces out the flag and drag to just get away. That's a flash blown from Sport Boy, nothing gained in return though.
A little bit slow. Had they been there maybe even a second earlier, they might have been able to smite away the Gromp, and at that point, Jarvan is not looking too good, won't have the slow of the W, and after you flash, a little bit of a better chance you catch him. Now, unfortunately, that play, I mean, it takes a little bit from your laners, and, I mean, you get Wolves, I guess, but Wolves for flash isn't exactly what you are looking for if you're on the side of Final Bastion.
Not at all. Rams just trading with that 5-point strike mid into the Molten Shield. But top laner continuing to trade back. Slap Rams just trying to use that Seismic Shard to get some extra damage off. But the Snip doing so much damage here. Otto's coming in. He's really low there. Likely going to be forced to take a recall.
Now, luckily for Slap Games, he does have the TP available. He's going to be able to get back to his wave. It's almost like being punished one free time when you have your TP up. But after that, damage like that's going to cost him a wave, maybe 2. And we've already seen how bad these trades are going in his favor. I'm curious to see if what he buys on his back here. It's looking like he's just going to get some health pots. I don't know how much gold he had when he backed. It's looking like he had 250, so that's not a whole lot. But yeah, I mean, he's taking some punishment up in that top lane.
Interesting first buy against a Gwen. It's going to be very difficult in that lane there. Bot side, we do see taking the recall. Fritz gets that Noon Quiver on back. Doing pretty well into a lane that's supposed to be impressive like this Caitlyn, but they're looking onto Sheba here. Shuriken Flip lands onto the minion though, so nothing really going to be available as a follow-up.
There's a lot of pressure being applied by Sport Boy for sure, but not a whole lot happening. I think if that's really, really good for Clown Gaming right now, because honestly, their comp is what shines in team fights rather than in these laning stages of the game. So without a lot happening in these laning stages, if they can try to keep even on the CS score, there's a good chance that they'll be looking favorable once we start moving into these dragon fights at like the 15-20 minute mark.
Velikos trading up here, using that snip and the skip and snip just to get some extra damage down. And Dragon is available. Both junglers are in this bot side right now. Fritz stepping up, trying to get this interrupt. Adamance decides to stay in the end. Junglers are in the area.
Thing is, Caitlyn already at half health, but Sejuani's got a full level on Jarvan, and they're about to connect in that river.
Yeah, they're right there. Tigsy goes over, lands the flag and drag. Spartans has to jump over with the Arctic Assault, uses the Blast Cone to knock Tigsy in. The Permafrost stun comes in. That is First Blood going over. There's the flash in to get the slow, to get the mark on. There is a stun coming off the Braum. Perfect execution from Rams. Secures the kill. Shuriken flip in, blocked by the spell shield. Going to get a bit of extra damage. Ignite comes out, but Fritz is going to live in the end there.
And that is the blood we were looking for from Final Bastion. I mean, the second you see Sport Boy on that end of the blast cone, you can see the disaster that's about to happen to the Jarvan. And just like that, without a Zinzao to protect him, he is gonna go back to that gray screen. And Bama tried to do their best, but because of what happened there, Seraphine also was found and killed. And now that's a 2k gold lead on the side.
Pops the needlework going in. Tigsy is here. The Conqueror is stacked as well as the Ghost Pop, stacking up this snip. And there it is, into the final needlework with a fully stacked snip. That's Velikos getting the solo kill topside.
And almost a double, 3 levels over Jarvan. And that's the problem when you are spam ganking and not getting anything for it. That Jarvan is still level 4. Sejuani's about to hit 6. Gwen just hit level 7. And it's looking difficult on that top side of the map. And I think Tigsy's gonna have to change up that game plan a little bit. Try to hit 6 and then start finding ways to make things work.
Absolutely. Right now, all solo laners having kills. We have the Gwen and the Akali both ahead in terms of farm and kills. Look at this top side right now. 25 CS lead for Velikos over Slap Games right now.
Yeah, it is massive for Velikos right here. Also, you got a kill on top. I wouldn't be surprised if that Rift Maker is going to be on the Rift very, very soon. Probably the next 3 or 4 minutes we'll see it come up unless he finds another kill. And with Sport Boy on his way back top, it's very possible.
Sport Boy's pinging. He's looking. The skip and slash going in for those extra autos. He uses the Seismic Shard, gets himself some move speed. Permafrost stun comes in, but he gets far enough under tower that he's just going to be able to walk away.
Skip, slash, snip, and slide. All these words that are really throwing a tongue twister at you every time we see a play top.
Yeah, a little bit. Gwen just says, hey, you want to call ability names? Good luck.
You want to call ability names and remember? I'm surprised you can remember what they are, to be completely honest with you, because there's no chance I could do that.
It took a long time.
But unfortunately, Final Bastion did not remember the dragon in time, and that's going to be an Ocean Drake for the side of Clown Gaming. They're going to be looking to trade this Herald for it. And honestly, with their team comp, I think first Herald is probably the better first objective for them, just because they can funnel even more gold. Maybe place it mid and lock the Akali if you really want, or place it top and get rid of a lot of that safety on Slap Games, who's already desperately behind.
Absolutely. Velikos has the potential to snowball this game. Already a massive lead here. Just chunking Slap Games right now with that. And we've already seen the danger that the concussive blows and Permafrost together can pose between the Sejuani Braum. Paired up in a team fight later, it's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, I can only imagine what's going to happen, especially when you have ahead laners like Akali and Gwen, who really utilize that CC to full effect, right? And I should even mention, Caitlyn, if she can land those traps on the
Tigsy's here, dashes out of the way, using that stand behind me. Cataclysm comes in, forces out, and not going to land down on anything as the heal and the Glacial Fissure is there to disengage.
That was a really close call, though. Almost pulling a couple kills back into their favor, but really nicely played by both Atomez and Frisky being able to get away from that whole scene.
Absolutely. Atomaz barely getting out of the way of that charm, caught on the edge of it, but the stand behind me gets him far enough away, and using that glacial fissure to just disengage and get them to safety. Bot lane of Clown Gaming now has back, which means Frisky and Atomaz are just going to crash this lane for themselves.
And to be honest, that's something we didn't mention in Giraffe. The problem with Cataclysm on Jarvan this game is the fact that every single member of Final Bastion have some way of escaping it.
You're not even joking. Every single one of them can get out of there without blowing up. Velikos is going in though. There's the needlework, going with the snip, fully stacked Conqueror as well, chunked half. Meanwhile, mid lane, Ram's going in, perfect execution, gets the 5-point strike, getting some extra damage out. Shiva is there, gets the timbers under the tower, and the ignite comes in with that tower shot. Shiva takes the kill back. Overconfidence becomes the death of Rams. Meanwhile, topside, Velikos still there. No ult, no ghost, going in with the skip and slash. Here comes Jarvan, though. There's the flag drag into the knock-up. The autos coming out. JK's in the area. And there's the unstoppable force. Gets the kill for Slap Games.
And a little bit of hubris on the side of Final Bastion. They're up 3 kills, and they're starting to overstep. They're trying to further their lead as much as possible, which you do have to do with this comp. But they are playing very, very overconfident. Of course, we see Akali missing the E, still electing to go in. And then up top, Velikos up almost 50 CS and deciding, okay, I'm going to go in between your 2 towers. But the problem with that is
there's the Glacial Fusion just falls short, but Sport is here. He's looking for the autos, gets the Arctic Assault to lock him down. There's the Permafrost, spell shielded at the perfect time to prevent it. But meanwhile, Shiva the dog is running away from Rams, but Trissy is here to save the day. Rams does not have that perfect execution or the shuriken flip. There he goes, trying to get away, but Tigsy just autos him down. That is another kill going over to Tigsy. Rams just being a bit too over-aggressive.
And usually it's the dog chasing the car, but in this game it's the Ram chasing the dog, and he's the one who got hit by Jarvan like a damn car. As he goes down for the second time, the lead of Final Bastion starting to implode.
Absolutely. It seemed like Shiva and Tigsy have been able to stem the bleeding a little bit. Even Slap Games getting that kill, bringing himself a bit closer to even with this tower down. Slap Games? Slap Games, I know your tower's there, but you can't just walk past the Glen with needlework. It just gets choked down to half health, and Sport Boy is in the area. You mentioned tower dives earlier. They're looking at this. There's the Arctic Assault into the knockup. Flash away. Permafrost stun comes in. The autos come in as well. Velikos gets a kill topside thanks to Sport Boy, and the Herald is here to help take down this tower. At 13 minutes, we're finally going to see our first tower, possibly, but no. Shiva is in the area, forcing them off. The Molten Shield speed is not enough for her to catch up to those two. 3 now topside, leaving Fritz Lulu alone bot right now.
And it's a beautifully executed tower dive. I do have one gripe with it, and it's the fact that they placed Herald before doing the tower dive. Had they just waited till the tower dive was over to place Herald, that tower goes down. 100% of the true damage of it.
Just a little bit early on the Herald placement. We finally see Mythics coming in for quite a few members. Fritz, the Kraken Slayer, whereas the side of Final Bastion, triple Mythics already available. We have that Riftmaker. We have that Radiant Virtue, of course, recently changed to just have that big burst healing whenever you cast your ultimate, alongside the extra health, and the Gale Force on the board for Caitlyn. But now up is the Dragon. We see 4 members here for the side. Actually, we see 5 with the fact that Sivir is down in this bot side. Gwen, Velikos, top side right now. This is a 4v5, but they're looking to collapse down onto Fritz Lula right now. Spell Shield is there, able to dodge out on part of the damage. The Ignite comes in. Caitlyn throwing in that pelt over Peacemaker, but there's Frisky, gets caught by the knockup, and this is a slaughter right now. We do finally see the TP coming in from Gwen, who's in the backline, shredding with this needlework. They're on to Shiba right now. Timbers comes in with the stun, but there's the shuriken flip on to multiple. Perfect execution has already been cast, taking down a few. Trixie and Fritz are low. 3 still in the area. Atomaz is alive, and there are 3 members low under tower here. 2 have fallen for the side of Clown Gaming, whereas 1 has fallen. Actually, no one's fallen. 1 has fallen in the side of Caitlyn on the side of Final Bastion. It looks like they're just going to take their win and head over to the Dragon, but I don't think this fight is over. It looks like Rams wants more. Tigsy's going in. The shuriken flip lands. There's the 5-point strike takedown. TP is coming in from Slap Games. Rams is not done, though. Seismic Shard comes in. Velikos ripping through Fritz onto Baba Jam now. Trying to run away, uses that speed off the surround sound, dashes in though, the snip takes him down, he's under Slap Games now, and he's just going to walk it away. That's another 3 kills going over to the side of Final Bastion, alongside, finally, this Mountain Dragon.
I swear to God, I see this every time I cast a Velikos game. That guy finds a way to get fed every single time, and that is now a 5-1 scissor snipper on the board. That next back gonna be an entire half of that second item for Velikos. They get the Dragon. They get so much off that team fight, all because the side of Clown Gaming really got split by Sivir being in the bot side and not in the river with the rest of the team. And
Absolutely.
because of that, I think it just kind of spelled disaster because they were there first. They had the rotation first. Velikos was still in the top side. Had they engaged as a 5, I think that fight actually goes their way. We've seen how strong the opening was with the Encore and Malphite charging in like a rock and shattering the earth for them. But
Velikos is still here. They know, though. They catch him. In comes the Needlework onto Fritz. Gets a bit of a slow. TP is coming in, though. There's Needlework again, and that healing off the Riftmaker is going to be enough. Here comes Rams. Uses the Portable in. Dodges out on that Encore. And just going to dash in. Not able to land the R2, but still enough to take down Trixie there. There is another shot off that Piltover Peacemaker, getting some damage in. Shiba looking to try and run in, has dropped Tibbers as well, using the Molten Shield, getting a bit of damage off, but it looks like it's just going to be a 1-0 bot side with the advantage going to Final Bastion.
And this time, Final Bastion's entire team was there first for the most part. And it's starting to feel more and more like that Cataclysm is just blocking Clown Gaming from being able to advance on the targets they're trying to pick off.
Absolutely, it's just locking out the damage from the likes of Shiba and Fritz. Yes, they can ricochet and throw those boomerang blades, but they're just not able to work through that team fight. It gives them terrain they can't get around.
They can't get around it, but you know who can get around it? Every member of Final Bastion! All of them can just dash, net over, hop to anything else to get out of there. So the Cataclysm really is just impacting Cloud Gaming. It's dragging them down in a way, to be completely honest.
Absolutely. If anything, it's hurting them more than it hurts Final Bastion right now. And we just see people going back to farming. Baron is... Actually, not Baron. Herald is available at the moment. We do see some
smaller purple worm
from the junglers right now. Frisky just trading back. There's the jump in with the stand behind me, get the extra armor. Has to pop the Unbreakable to peel off, to get the damage reduction. But it looks like Sport Boy just on to that Herald right now. Going to be the second one of the day, surely heading over to Final Bastion.
The other thing, though, I feel like when you're in-game right now, we're able to have the luxury of seeing. Right now, Final Bastion is almost up 6k. But I feel like in-game, it definitely feels like a lot less when you only see it's 4-10, 1 tower taken. You definitely feel like...
Rams lands the shuriken flip. Is he going to take it? Is he going to take it? No Akali syndrome right now. He decides to play it safe. Smart man.
Definitely looks like it's a lot closer than it is, and I think that might end up being a hindrance to Clown.
There's the stun into the Tibbers. Massive damage onto Rams. Has to shuriken flip and proto belt away from Tibbers. The ignite had been popped. He's just running for his life. Is able to get out. But look who's here. The flank is here. Sports Boy, Velikos in the area. There's the Hallowed Mist to dodge out on the stun. The snip comes in, and there is a kill heading over to Velikos. In comes, though, the Encore. They are able to take down Frisky MMO bot side thanks to the Boomerang Blade out of Fritz Lulu.
Rams absolutely baited a beautiful play, knowing Gwen and Sejuani were on the other side of that wall. One of the bot slide, they pull one back, and Sport Boy doesn't know what he's walking into. Jarvan is there right now, if he tries to do anything.
Looks like, though, they're just gonna back. He goes for the interrupt! Jarvan, you know he's there. Gonna cancel his back and just wait and see if any initiation comes in at the moment. But Velikos is here, making Clown Gaming think for a moment before trying to take a fight.
Yeah, it looked like they were thinking about going on a Sport Boy till Velikos showed on that ward, and just like that, they're gonna walk back to their base. And it's gonna be on them to land a very big wombo combo to get some of these bounties off of Velikos and Rams. Of course, you know, 150 gold bounty onto Akali, a 550 gold bounty onto Gwen, which if you can get on maybe a Sivir or an Annie can really impact how strong your AP and AD threats are and really bring you back into this game.
Absolutely. And right now, look who's coming mid lane. There is the Shuriken flip, though. He doesn't even need him. The Ignite comes in. Perfect execution off the Shuriken flip. He saw that the stun off the Pyromancy had been burned, and Rams just takes it and runs with it. Insta solo kill coming in for Rams mid.
And that's one of the problems with the Annie and Akali matchup. The second your stun goes down, Akali's got full reign of that lane, and you start seeing kills like that occur, especially when that Akali's so far ahead.
Yep, the solo laners, absolute menaces right now. They're looking bot lane, though. Glacial Prism goes wide. They're trying to get on. There's the Glacial Fissure knocked up onto Baba Jam. And there's the triple encore to lock them down. But the healing off of that Radiant Virtue is going to be enough! Barely! And with the fact that Rams rotates down there, they are going to be able to live. Adamez going in, trying to just disengage, making sure that his team can get away. There's Rams in the bot lane as well as Tigsy. They're just trying to get these autos in, the concussive blows alongside that ace in the hole, just going to disengage Clown Gaming Spartans. Nothing coming out of a beautiful encore bot lane from Baba Jam.
That's gotta hurt. I can feel the mental games that just played to Clown Gaming. If you're Fritz, being so close to getting a double there, really pulling yourself as your team's AD threat, and having it slip from your grasp as you get the ping that Rams is showing up into a 4v2. Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Absolutely, and right now, Dragon on the board, complete control. We see the bot lane backing. This is just going to be a free Dragon going over to Final Bastion. And we've mentioned the fact that the solo lanes of Final Bastion are so far ahead right now. We have a 4k gold lead for Velikos in their lane, and about a 1.5k gold lead for Rams. But down bot side, Fritz Lulu is ahead of Frisky. They're up 50 CS, essentially, and almost 1,000 gold, but they're instantly on to Slap Games. Has to use that Unstoppable Force out to safety.
And you know what? With the Malphite Unstoppable Force
oh no, Baba Jams instantly locked down by the Glacial Prison, and the skip and snip, and the snip just locks him down. He's looking for Shiva, gets Tibburst under the tower. Doesn't matter though. With this Gnasher's Tooth, he can just shred through everything in the area. And Big Blast Cone.
I mean, with Unstoppable Force down and Baba Jam down, they could take Baron here, realistically.
Absolutely. Tigsy, though, is looking for a possible fight. There is a big flag drag. Not going to catch anybody, though, as they both use their dashes away the Arctic Assault alongside that Shuriken flip. Fritz may be in a bit of danger here. He has 3 people in the area, though his team is all rotating down to him right now, trying to defend this Tier 2 bot side. They're looking at him. Adamez is looking, but they are going to back up when they see reinforcements in the area.
But right now, the Storm's really closing in on Clown Gaming as we see the first the first 3 T1 towers taken, and their map side, where they can actually see what's going on, has gotten a lot smaller. Of course, the defenses for them to really hide behind have gotten a lot smaller. And now, when we start seeing another Dragon fight in 3 minutes, or possibly a Baron fight, they don't have a lot of cover left.
Absolutely. The Baron is obviously going to that big piece on the table. It'll just be interesting to see when exactly the side of Final Bastion decides to play towards it. And right now, both teams playing things a bit slow, getting themselves set up at the moment.
7-1 Gwen, who looks like she's either working on Shadow Flame or Rabadons. I personally would be really interested in a Rabadons, considering how little magic resist is actually on the table. And of course, Gnasher's Tooth Riftmaker is a deadly combination on Gwen.
Absolutely dangerous. And they're looking here. Adamez is in the area, gets the slow into Baba Jam. Tigsy gets out somehow, but at the cost of his support, it looks like. There's a double encore, but as you mentioned, the permafrost and the concussive blows So much CC onto Babajam, just instantly locked down. Tigsy says, we can't win this fight. I gotta leave you, buddy. I'm sorry. Tigsy, it does rotate down bot side, but that is the go-ahead. The pull for Baron has occurred. They are starting it at this moment. Gwen is bot side. Threatening the rotation, does have TP. What do you do if you're Clown Gaming in this moment? They're looking, looks like they're saying you can have it. We're going to take towers because we can't contest you right now.
They're looking for the objective bounty. What I'm interested in seeing is Tigsy going to walk over and try to steal it? Or are they just really committing to this mid-push? It looks like we might know. They're just going to look to pick up Rams here.
Adamans may want this, but actually Velika is just down bot side, keeping the shove going right now. Yeah, and that's a completely uncontested Baron heading over to the side of Final Bastion. But it looks like the side of Clown Gaming isn't done just yet. They see Velika, so they want them. There's the Unstoppable Force in with the Flag and Drag and the Timbers. Triple lockdown onto Velikos. There's the biggest side lane threat removed with Baron already.
You know what's crazy too? You get 1,500 gold for Baron, but Annie just got 1,000 of that back by killing Velikos. Velikos a little overextended once the map goes black.
Well, Rams is looking at this. Topsy on the hunt, just trying to get away out of that shuriken flip and perfect execution distance. Going to get away to safety right now.
The other thing is Dragon is up in 50 seconds. Of course, it's the third or the second chem tank on the map, but it could be soul points for the side of Final Bastion. You have 5 up. It's about pushing those waves and seeing if you can contest it. Otherwise, you have to contest it for soul.
Absolutely, of course. Soul point not as dangerous as the soul itself. So giving away the third dragon not as bad as giving away that fourth. Look right now, Slap Games just shoving out this top lane, getting what they can. Everybody from the side of Clown Gaming just trying to scale up as much as they can. Looks like the side of Final Bastion already set up in this pit. Vision control in the area. Not much they can really do unless they're going to look for a miracle still right here.
They are ready to go, of course. They do have 4 members rotated onto this side of the map. They still have TP from Slap Games, but it's going to have to come out soon if they're contesting. But I think it's looking like it's going to get dropped.
Yeah, they're just saying, you can take us to Soul Point. You're not at Soul yet. We're just going to try and scale a bit longer, get some more items onto our carries, maybe look to get Malphite finishing up that Sunfire. And alongside that, the big item still waiting to come in for Sivir. We don't see the third item yet with that Caulfield's alongside the Cloak of Agility. I'd imagine we see a... I am completely blanking on the new item. It's not new, it's just updated. Not IE.
IE or Navori?
Not IE. Navori's, because it's a Caulfield here.
Yes, I'm surprised they didn't go with second, though. That really, like, I understand that, like, third is still, like, okay. But I feel like second item Navori's gives you such a power spike, especially when your team is very, very
walking
high.
into multiple. Flag Drag is shorted, though. There's no knockup available. Sportboy still going in, though. Uses that Winter's Wrath flail to just get some damage down. Just going to walk it out, and they're still using this Baron pretty well, sieging into it. Meanwhile, bot side, Rams is just pushing away. The rotation is coming into bot side. Adamaz just shutting down this vision control as well as he can. The rotation between mid and bot of this 4-man, combined with this 1-man top side of Velikos, who even without the Baron is a pushing menace.
And it looks like that top T2 is going to be the next to fall as Clown Gaming down.
Takes down the minion wave, though. Stops the turret siege. Sportboy is here, though. They're just looking to disengage now. Fritz Lulu backing up, ripping through this team as much as they can with the ricochets. Has lethal pop, but that Unbreakable going to be stopping a lot of the damage.
They're almost down to just straight T3s here, which makes contesting any objective very, very difficult. Which, it's okay for the next 2 minutes. I think if you're Clown Gaming, you're really hoping for Fritz Lulu to get the Navori in the next 2 minutes and try to find some way into winning a team fight. I think you gotta look for a pick, maybe before Baron spawns or before Dragon spawns, whichever you elect to fight, and just go for it. You gotta really go all in, because right now, the argument is if they lose a team fight, they lose the game. But also, the longer this game goes on, the more and more slowly gets taken from them. And although, yeah, they're a scaling comp, you have to survive to be a scaling comp, and the second that soul is taken, it might as well be game over for Clown Gaming.
Absolutely. Chemtech Soul becomes so difficult to deal with, taking less damage and dealing more damage when you get lower health, alongside that extra shield power, and more importantly for this team, the tenacity it brings to the table. It becomes so hard to lock Adamant and Sport Boy down, and even Rams and Velikos become a menace. And they just have complete control of this map right now. Vision control is theirs. We have a 9-stack Dark Seal on Rams right now.
Yeah, 9-stack Dark Seal is a little bit difficult to deal with, especially once that gets upgraded to a Maya Soul Stealer. Stealer?
Stealer.
It is Stealer. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you're pretty much stealing the game away at that point once he gets 25 stacks. Oh my god, Nikali with that much AP is pretty well unkillable.
Absolutely, and you called it earlier, Velikos has gone back, has completed. We do have the funny hat in the game.
Rabadabadoo?
Rabadabadoo!
Rabadabadoo! Oh god. I gotta check. Velikos currently has 544 AP on Gwen. Oh my god.
They are going to shred through just about whoever they want. Except
maybe not Malphite, I agree. Malphite might be the one target that it's hard for them to shred through, but they are proving us wrong right now as they chunk him to half right away. The tower is still standing, but how much longer is that really going to occur after this Baron fight? They're going to try to take it before Dragon, and this is on Final Bastion to choose. Are they going to go for the Dragon and just fight there, or are they going to make their last stand at this Baron? It looks like it's going to have to be a Dragon for them.
Yep, this setup around Baron is already complete. You have Rams just completely zoning right now. The snap traps also set up by Frisky, completely zoning the side of Clown Gaming out. And it's already gone. Just gets shredded by this Gwen. And it looks like, as you mentioned, this fight around Dragon will be where this game ends.
And if this game is Mars, there is 30 seconds till it's decided, as this Drake's spawning.
Rams goes in, lands the Shuriken flip. Encore comes in, but the Banshees blocks it. Meanwhile, mid lane, Velikos is just shredding. There's that death cap coming into work. Fritz Lulu's down. Skip and Slash out of the way of the unstoppable force dodging head. Tigsy goes down next. Now on the table is Slap Games, eats the ace in the hole, but the Snip takes him down. Sheba the dog, the last man standing. The puppy has seen the rest of his team fall. It's just him and his bear against the world. And this 5-man is shredding the towers. They're shredding the inhibs. They're shredding this game right now. They're saying, Soul, who needs it? We got a 5v1 with the Baron. This game is ours. Final Bastion looking to take this game number 1 in convincing fashion and bring themselves to 7-0 on the season.
And just like that, they're looking to put down the dog still, but just like that, game 1 firmly decided for Final Bastion.
Dominance out of the side of Final Bastion right now. Massive plays all around, especially topside by Velikos. Solo kills to start the game, and then just shredding through the entire team. The Gwen just couldn't be matched in a side lane. There was nothing they could do about it.
Rams as well. Rams and Velikos really were shown to be oppressive this game. Of course, Sport Boy played very well. I felt like Sport Boy was everywhere at all times. And even though they were getting some nice encores in the bot line, it felt like Sport Boy was always there to show up and be like, hey! Or a Cataclysm would just block them from doing anything with it, unfortunately.
A Cataclysm would lock somebody down, and then they just use your ability like, I don't want to be in this anymore.
I've never seen a team counter one ultimate so well. Where it's like, oh, you want to make the ground rise. Okay, well, we'll just it's still ground, man. I'll just walk over it.
I'll just dash and shuriken flip and net and jump to a friend just to get out of it.
What I'm really interested in here, though, going into draft 2, they picked a very good team fighting comp. It wasn't that they executed it bad per se. It's more like they didn't execute it well enough to make up for how far behind they were set in the laning phase. I'd be really interested in them saying, okay, look, we play fine together, but truthfully, what we need is just to pick a couple more bloody laners early and just really go at it. We've seen when it came to laning phase on the champions who could stand toe to toe, like Annie into Akali. It really wasn't that bad of a fight. It was really impacted by Sport Boy showing up to that lane, and of course, Jarvan just being absolutely countered by anything he wanted to do to try to lock in Akali. But when they were there to make the impact, it happened. Akali was able to get killed by Annie, and even early in the game, we've seen a down Malphite do some things to try to bring himself back. When Velikos overstepped, the Malphite punished it. So I'd be really interested in seeing maybe some top and mid picks that can actually hold their own, or maybe, dare I say, even a much more aggressive bottom lane. I know that this supports a sub, but they played fine there. There were some beautiful encores landed. I'd be interested in maybe, I don't know, a Samira Leona, maybe something that can be more oppressive on the bot side if they're going to elect to play like a weak side top.
Absolutely, because their bot side is where they were able to get those advantages. Sivir had a 50 CS lead going later into that game. They were winning bot side despite being against something as lane oppressive as a Caitlyn. Mid lane was holding their own as Annie into Akali. Just the big gaps started to appear topside. But if you're just going to put topside on a tank, it's okay to go down CS, provided you have a strong point on the map elsewhere. And that's the big question coming into game number 2, is what Clown Gaming decides to pivot to. What is their response to such a dominant game 1 victory by Final Bastion? And we will have to wait and see exactly what their plan is. They got some time to draft prep, but once we come back, we'll be here with game number 2's draft of Final Bastion and Clown Gaming Spartans. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Game number 2, Clown Gaming taking on Final Bastion. Final Bastion, of course, took our game number 1 in rather convincing fashion. We are going to head into draft rather soon, but before we go and people act confused as to why it looks really weird, Draftal decided to do this wonderful thing where it crashed. So we're heading over to good old Pro Draft, and we don't have a setup ready for stream for that. So it's going to look weird as hell on stream. We apologize. There's not much we can. Well, turns out it's not even going to be on here. It's just us. So we'll tell you as it happens.
Yeah, you just listen very, very carefully. I'll probably also write it in the chat every time a pick gets hit. But yeah, we're just going to tell you what happens because Pro Draft blows, and honestly, the client draft is a little bit better sometimes. Not going to lie. Does Pro Draft still get updated?
Maybe. I don't know. Something to note, though, Final Bastion and Clown Gaming have swapped sides. Final Bastion now on the blue side, Clown Gaming on the red. Both teams still using their E-subs, so still will be waiving their ban losses. So, standard draft all around. We're just going to wait for them to get on into it. And the big question is, after last game's shellacking, shall I say, what would you like to see the side of Clown Gaming change up?
I want aggression. I really, really want aggression. I want at least one lane for them to commit to it and say, this is our lane, we're going deep. They almost tried to do it with Annie, but gave up on it halfway. Last game, they literally just sat there and they had an idea in mind, but never executed it. And they just slowly let themselves bleed out. It was like having a gunshot wound and not walking to the hospital, you know? They just sat there and bled to death. And this time, I want them to grab the bazookas and strike back harder. I want at least one, maybe two lanes where they're like, these are our lanes. We're going to gun it hard. We're going to send our jungler straight to, whether it's bot or top, whatever they choose, and just fight it. Now, I think it's definitely better if you go like maybe bot mid strong, because we constantly see the damage Velikos does no matter what. Maybe get a Shen in your top lane on slap games so that you can have something and just really commit to that side of the map.
And so we thought things were broken. It turns out things are even worse than we thought, because we've been sitting here waiting for draft to start, looking at the spectator draft, and apparently they're already going. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll let you know once we're in the draft spectate then, I guess. While we wait, Bickle?
So, I'm predicting right now, and I have no idea what's going to happen. So they can just do draft and then do it in client, and we'll be surprised as it goes.
Bickle, would you say we're in a pickle right now?
I would absolutely say we're in a bit of a pickle at the moment.
A pickle?
Absolutely.
A pickly bickle?
Yes, a pickly bickle.
All right. Wow. This should be this should be interesting. Well, I mean, we have to talk about something. So, how do you feel about patch 13.3?
I like what's happened, aside from the fact that Aurelion Sol became everybody's dragon god for a little bit, and Annie became this untradeable demon spawn in mid lane. Other than that, it's been great.
You don't like having two mid lane champs you have to ban every single game if your team doesn't pick them?
It's been phenomenal. Just great.
Oh, come on. It's so incredibly fun. I really enjoy being a jungler and not getting to ban Maokai because I have to ban Asol or Annie every single game. And then I just get smurfed on by Maokai if we're not blue side first pick. I feel like before 13.3, the patches were finally like fixing. I mean, jungle needed some work, and now it's like, you look across the Summoner's Rift, there's like 5 champions you need to ban every game just to make it playable.
It's like, well, we can't let them have this, or this, or this, or that. So basically, we're just fucked.
Now, you could say I'm tilted because I went on a 7-game losing streak and demoted to Plat 4.
This is why we don't rage queue.
No, this is why we lock in Nasus jungle every game, mute all, and hope for the best.
Oh,
also,
dear God.
I do find it very funny that we've been allegedly streaming Minecraft this whole time.
Absolutely. This is the newest version of Minecraft. They just put it out. It's League of Legends in Minecraft. I know, it's amazing. Mojang is on top of it.
I'll prove to you this is Minecraft. I'm going to punch this until it breaks.
Give it time. Any day now. You got this.
Because that really hurts my hand.
Apparently, Zaya is Cassante. I don't know what's going on, but apparently he's Cassante in this draft.
how is this so resilient? Like,
Yeah.
my fist mark's there, but, like, it just didn't move. Or am I that weak? I don't think I'm that weak, guys.
You're not. It's just that strong a material. You're not going to be able to do it.
Yo, dude, it's a bottle of CeraVe acne cleanser. That's a little bit embarrassing. I mean, it's not like you guys can't tell, but this is here. You know what? Polar bear cup. We're gonna punch the polar bear. Nope, that hurts way more. Never
Punch
mind.
everything.
Hey guys, check out the Pixelmon server though. It went live yesterday. PXE has a Pixelmon server now that you can join. You need to download one of the mods in the. I think it's in the one of the chats, probably the announcement chat.
It's
Yeah,
in
it's in the
one
announcement
Discord chat somewhere. Now, you were mentioning patch 13.3. Obviously, we saw Annie. Aurelian Soul is currently disabled. It was disabled in-game, now it's back, but it's disabled here at Phoenix City Sports for a bit as the rework has just come in. Any champions that you've just seen nerfed or buffed recently that you'd like to see coming in?
Any champs that I see buffed or nerfed that I'd like to see come in? I mean, a Thresh would be interesting, especially on the side of Clown Gaming. Get some early aggression with a champion like that. I mean, the Annie didn't go too well for them. If ASOL wasn't disabled, I'd love to see an ASOL.
Oh,
to be honest,
we're in draft.
I'd be interested in like a Maokai or something for like early game tank jungling or something like that, rather than like I still think I know Jarvan got buffed, but I still think he's garbage. I think that champ is absolutely.
We saw that last game, and it appeared that way. But yeah, we are into client draft now, and we're going to be in for a bit of a surprise as to where everything goes and what exactly is happening. The only thing I know is that there's supposedly a Cassante.
Coming in from the side of, I believe, Final Bastion is blue. They've taken out the Anivia, they've taken out the Maokai, and they've taken out the Ivern again. 2 Ivern bans. And meanwhile, on the side of Clown Gaming, the Gangplank, it's gone. The Aurelia, it's gone. The Fiora, it's gone. Which means the Gwen's still up.
AKA, everything that was banned in game number 1 is banned in this game.
And now, of course, this is drafted out of order. Keep that in mind because they're just going top to support.
So we have no idea what was a response to what, but we have a Camille versus Cassante top lane. That's going to be fun. And Clown Gaming bringing out the good old Gragas jungle. The fat man is here to play. And Final Bastion running back the Sejuani with a Victor mid lane this time.
Last time a fat man was here to play, the things did not go so well for the other side of the battle. But so we got Sejuani on the Sport Boy. We got Victor as Rams. We got Syndra countering the Victor. Right now, we have a very, very defenseless mid lane who are just probably there to scale up. Of course, Cassante most solo kills. Velikaz on Camille, though, sounds deadly. And then in the jungle matchup is a little bit strange, isn't it? Sejuani versus Gragas. I don't think I've seen that matchup a whole lot, to be completely honest with you.
I have not either. Sejuani, obviously one of the premier junglers at the moment. Gragas, though, not something you tend to see. Does have an AP option in both Everfrost or Rod of Ages or even Night Harvester, or can just go more tank style with that Frozen Fist. We'll have to wait and see. And obviously we can get a bit of an idea of how draft went when we see the fact that the Gwen and Akali were banned, as well as the Zoe and Alawi, meaning these solo laners will probably left to after the second phase of picks. But here we still need to see the 80 carries and supports of both teams.
Please give me a strong bot lane. Please give me a strong bot lane on the side of Clown Game. Oh, no.
That's different, and that's a Caitlyn for lane dominance once again.
We have the worst ADC laner against the best ADC laner in the game. Oh, no!
It's okay. We scale.
Like, yeah, but also, your only lane that's, like, kind of winning is Cassante? And I feel like Sejuani Camille sounds scarier than Cassante Gragas.
Absolutely. Cassante, of course, also coming in off some really rough nerfs. Basically, once you ultimate, you have the resistances of a caster minion, because you lose 80% of all your resistances.
Oh, come on. You like having the resistances of a caster minion, no?
Absolutely.
It's good.
I mean, you're against a Camille. You don't really need resistances. She's going to Cho'Gath ulti with true damage you anyways.
Yeah, it's true damage anyways. I mean, like, okay. The draft itself is good, but with the way the games have been played, I mean, it's just like Final Bastion have another lane dominance comp, and there's not much to defend it. There really isn't. I'll go ahead and write out this draft in chat for you guys. So on Final Bastion, running down the lineup, we have Camille being played by Velikov. We got Sejuani being played by Sportboy, Victor being played by Rams, Caitlyn being played by First Game Mo, and Nautilus being played by Atomez. Whereas on the side of Clown Gaming, we have Cassante, Gragas, Syndra. Well, come on, I'm not spamming it. Come on. Syndra. Sorry, guys. Twitch chat was arguing with me.
How dare
Zeri,
you chat break with argue
and
with you?
Lulu. That is the 2 drafts. Now, to be honest, I really want to see Clown Gaming hit an upset win here. We've seen 2 teams now.
It'd be fun. I don't expect it, but it'd be fun.
It would be fun. The thing is, they have another comp where it's very similar. They can get to the team fighting comp, or the team fighting stage of the game without being too far behind. They most likely win. But
they need to be even when they get there.
Zeri surviving laning phase doesn't seem
against
very
Caitlyn.
I mean, she might survive, but she'll be under tower, cradling, waiting, just praying Lulu polymorphs them every time they go for a dive. And of course, with Sejuani Nautilus, I mean, you're gonna get dove. And on the top side, I mean, like, the top side looks good. You got Cassante versus Camille. But again, I'm just so worried about once you add Sejuani Gragas to the picture, because I feel like that's really, like, Camille Sedge is going to be a lot better than Cassante Gragas. Of course, after the buffs you just mentioned, too.
Yeah, and something else to note, Zeri's entire goal is to kite you out. What prevents you from kiting it out? I don't know, how about a point-and-click depth charge from Nautilus? Or a Hextech ultimatum to just say you're not moving anymore?
Yeah, it's definitely scary. Of course, this is just draft. Game changes a lot. If they're able to play to their advantages, get Cassante ahead in lane, and then have Zeri show up in those fights without losing 5 plating in the bot lane, 5 plating in the top lane, 5 plating in the mid lane before Caitlyn's out of laning phase, there's a solid chance they win this. So it's definitely not doom and gloom. The drafts on paper are fine. It's just the fear of how we seen last game go to draft yourself into the same corner is where the fear really lies. But with that, we're about to be out of the spectator delay. We're going to go ahead and get ourselves synced up and see you guys for Game 2 of Final Bastion versus Clown Gaming. We are now going to send in the Clowns to see if they can pull one back and bring this to a Game 3. So stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into game number 2 of the day with Final Bastion taking on Clown Gaming Spartans. Final Bastion currently up 1-0 in the series, and they're looking to just run down mid with this Nautilus right now. Dredge line landing on anybody is a death sentence if they can get it. Shiba is the one they're going to be looking at here in danger. They do spot them out on the ward, though. They're just going to be walking away and getting a bit of first strike damage off from that Dark Sphere.
I was really hoping the Flash Q was going to be brought out. I was on the edge of my seat waiting for it, but they didn't elect to go for it. They're all taking back, just not a whole lot happening here in this early stages. I mean, not much to be expected, of course. You get your little invade, but if nothing happens off it, we just go straight to landing phase. And right now, I mean, Gragas is starting top side, Sejuani's starting bot side. So Gragas is playing for the defense of his two bot laners, whereas Sejuani's going to try to get Camille ahead. And I feel like that's, I don't know if that's good.
We'll have to wait and see. Something else to note, Tiggsy on this Gragas rolling with the Electrocute. So do you expect this to be more an AP-focused build, or do you think we'll see more tank Gragas?
I think with Cassandra in your team, probably AP-focused. I would imagine you have to go AP-focused on the Gragas. I mean, you could definitely go tank and like double tank it with Cassandra, Gragas, and then just hoping Syndra and Zeri for all your damage. But I think this Gragas is definitely going to be looking to do a lot more than he was able to last game, and I think AP Gragas will allow him to clear quicker and do that.
Absolutely. It's something to keep an eye on as time goes. Of course, both mid laners going to be wanting to stack up those passives. Syndra wants to get her Splinters of Wrath to upgrade her abilities. Victor wants to get his Hex Fragments to upgrade his abilities. Both of those come from scaling. In Victor's case, killing minions. In Syndra's case, hitting champions with abilities.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's not too hard to hit Victor with abilities, luckily, for Syndra, just because the slow movement speed, but of course, it's about trying to scale in time with him taking all the minions, and if he's able to get an assist or a kill within, like, landing phase, or a gank going wrong, or a good rotation, it puts that Victor so far ahead.
Absolutely. Both mid laners running first strike, so just looking to poke out and get themselves a bit of extra damage or prevent their opponent from getting some extra damage. But something to note here, look at Tiggsy. He's wrapping around looking for a bot lane gank pretty early already. Topside Sejuani's coming in. The hookshot does not get the stun. Slap Game's just going to walk away, able to dodge out on Spotboy and use that Pathmaker to get the CC immunity. And bot lane, though, look who's in the area. It's Tiggsy already here. Their body slam, flash in, double stun, insta pops, Frisky MMO, and it looks like Adamaz is next. They're running them down. Fritz Lulu picks up the kill as well. That's 2 kills, instantly popping down bot side. Velikos goes in with that hookshot. Slap Games is low. Pathmaker's hit back under tower. Ignite comes in, flashes away. Footwork back in, not going to be able to get the knockup from the Intofo strikes, but top lane, both champs extremely low.
You know, I was hesitant about the Zeri, right? However, Gragas doing that gank, getting a kill on Gragas Zeri. You know what's worse than a landing phase Zeri?
What?
Behind Caitlyn.
That's a very fair point. The entire reason you pick Caitlyn is to get ahead. If you're not ahead, the champ's kind of useless. Oh, mid lane though, Sportboy, massive flash in on the Arctic Assault, but a beautiful Scatter the Weak knocks away both. Means that Shiba gets away with their life.
Shiba's alive?
Shiba is somehow alive. Hooked under the tower! Does not land the stun of the Pathmaker under! Velikos goes too deep!
What is going on this rift? Oh my god! Cloud Gaming has decided we're tired of being picked apart, and we are going a lot quicker. And they're just, their guns blazing. Like Danny DeVito, they've kicked open the door and they've started blasting, baby.
So Velikos was feeling themselves, saying, okay, my bot lane died. I kind of need to do something. Goes aggro and just completely whiffs the hookshot, lands in a tower. And just, they look at each other and Velikos is just thinking, well, guess I'm dead.
Velikos is feeling kind of quirky, okay?
A little bit.
He was in a silly, goofy mood.
Absolutely. And it comes out that way. 3 kills early going over to Clown Gaming. You said send in the clowns, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Oh my god, isn't it bliss?
Absolute bliss.
Don't you approve?
Totally. Oh, there goes the dredge line. Locks down Fritz. Forces out the flash. The Ultra Shock Laser comes out for a bit of poke. And there is a bit of damage coming onto Frisky MMO thanks to the picks. But, meanwhile, they're just going to be forced under tower. And with Sport Boy in the area, they may be in a bit of danger. But they are spotted out on this ward.
Gragas is also on the side of the map, looking to protect the Zeri Lulu combo. And he's stopping Sejuani from getting into position to do a tower dive on them. So now Sejuani's going to be looking to make an impact in this mid lane here and go after the flashless Shiba once again.
Absolutely. Shiba's going to have to make good use of this Scatter the Weak to disengage. Velikos goes in with another hook shot. Some trading back and forth. Pathmaker does get the slow and the stun and does have that Q3 charged up off the Intofo strikes. But these grasp procs are just being traded back and forth. 6 is hit by Slap Games to the level 5 of Velikos. Slap Games may look for something early.
Or Slap Games also has the all out ready to go, whereas Velikos still not with Hexic Ultimatum, but oh my god.
Bit of damage coming in the mid lane, and Shiba just playing back safe under tower, knows they don't have their flash up. Slap Games, though, looking to just get the autos in, using this extra true damage to just trade back and forth. Footwork in, gets the knock-up. There's another auto coming in. Not much happening at the moment. And it's just these top laners smacking each other and trading grass procs, getting some extra health, and trading back. And there's the Q3 again. Not much coming from it. Tigsy, though, and Sport Boy are meeting up. The Permafrost stun is available. Velikos just trading back. There's that hookshot wall dive. Uses the true damage off that. Oh. There's the Hextech Ultimatum and the Ignite. Dashes out of tower range. Going to be enough with the Ignite to take down Slap Games. That is a solo kill up topside for Velikos, redeeming themselves off that failed kill topside originally.
And Slap Games so close to almost pulling it into a 1-for-1, but Velikos, knowing the damages, knowing how much, well, I don't know necessarily if you know how much Cassante does there, considering I'm pretty sure pre-nerf Cassante definitely wins that.
Oh, absolutely. Pre-nerf Cassante, that's a dead Camille.
But now, with the nerf Cassante, solo kills get a little bit harder. My question is, I'm not sure if you know this interaction, because I unfortunately don't, but if Cassante's in Hexic Ultimatum and all outs Camille through a wall, do they go through, or are they stuck in the hex tank?
I think he goes through the wall. I don't know. I've never seen the interaction. I hope we see the interaction. But I'm taking a guess that he goes through the wall.
Because if they go through the wall, that's one way for Slap Games to really, really find ways to outplay Velikos.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And right now, both teams just farming up. Slap Games down in CS a little bit. Velikos has that sheen for trading damage. And these autos are just coming in using that Precision Protocol shield to his advantage. There's a big chunk off the Q2 of Precision Protocol with the hook shot. And just getting this damage out, using that shield to their advantage. Rams just using the, that Chaos Storm mid lane. But Tigsy is here. Scatter the Weak lands into the Flash Body Slam with the barrel roll and Unleash Power. Just going to absolutely pop Rams. That's a kill going over to Shiba.
And whereas last game we've seen Tigsy on the Jarvan not able to really find his footing, this game Tigsy is running this map right now. He has been everywhere.
Absolutely, finding a lot bigger advantage this game, but Velikos looking to trade in, uses that slow off the tactical sweep and that the percent health damage. He's going to get a lot of damage done onto Slap Games, who does not have their TP available. If they back here, they're going to lose a lot of this turret.
They're probably going to lose a lot of the turret and 2 waves. It's forcing them to stay. But the question is,
hook on to Fritz Lulu has to use that Spark Surge over the wall, get out to safety. Velikos is back up. They have the ultimatum available and the hook shot, wall shot. There's an auto off Precision Protocol. Gets stunned under tower, but there is that ultimatum to dodge out and kill off. Slap Games gets another solo kill topside. Once again, Velikos going to be taking over this game. And bot side, everything going their way, as this is an early Ocean Dragon, now going over to Final Bastion.
And shades of Game 1 starting to appear in this top lane, only this time Tigsy has decided to focus bot lane. If you're Tigsy, I think the new goal is to get mid and bot as ahead as you can to make up for what happened to the top lane, because now, Camille 30 CS up. 2-1, this back, getting the Divine Sunder on this back, it's impossible for Slap Games to fend for himself anymore.
Yep, Slap Games, this lane is over. In all honesty, Divine Sunder against Chain Vest Kindle Gem, you're done. You can't win trades. You weren't winning trades anyways, now you extra can't win trades.
Would you say that JK just got slapped?
I would absolutely say JK got slapped.
Yeah, that's going to be a rough lane. And the question for Tigsy now is, do you try to slow the bleeding, or do you keep doing what's been working?
Mid lane scatter the weak lands. In comes a slow there. There's the body slam. Flashed out from, but there's the explosive cast back. But in the area, Sports Boy is here. Lands the Glacial Prison to lock down. And able to take down Shiba, and now a 1v1 of the junglers. The flail is not enough with the red buff burn. Actually, it wasn't red buff. Just takes him down in the end. Going to be a kill going over to Sport Boy.
And that's 2 takedowns for Victor, which means we're going to be seeing those laser upgrades coming out of him as he leaves that base. That is a big, big upgrade for Victor.
And you mentioned AP Gragas, that is exactly what you get. He's not going for the slightly tanky Rod of Ages. He's not going for the extra CC. He's going pure burst. Night Harvester now on the board for Tigsy.
I mean, when you're making this much of an impact, I think it's definitely the right call, and I think this damage is going to be very needed, especially when it comes to taking down Camille.
Absolutely. Camille just dangerous right now. Nobody really able to handle Velikos. Slap Games trying to do what they can to just hold them in lane right now.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely going to be difficult to deal with Velikos, especially as Cassante bleeds more and more. It looks like Cassante is even trying to look for plays on different areas of the map. Because I think it's
coming in bot lane, and Zeri has stacked up that lethal tempo with the extra damage coming out of Pix and the assistance of Lulu. Fritz is just chunking out Frisky MMO.
I think that's one of the highlights for right now, Clown Gaming. We've seen their bot lane run wild last game, and it seems like they've kind of found a connection between the sub support and Fritz Lulu. They've been playing well last game, and now it's kind of on them to really spark a lead here in this bot lane.
Speaking of sparking a lead, look who's in the area, but none other than Triggsy in that bot bush right now. He's looking for something to happen. The ward has been taken out, so he can come over if he needs to. He does have that explosive cast. There's the body slam, catches on, knocks back off the explosive cast. Adamant is just gone. Instantly popped. Meanwhile, topside, Velikos looking in. There's the autos coming out of the Precision Protocol. Hextech Ultimatum flashed from Slap Games, but he gets pulled back due to it, tries to take him away with the all-out, but just gets chunked down. It's another solo kill from Velikos. Fritz Lulu looking at Frisky MMOs here, flashes away. Triggsy not able to pick it up with the barrel roll, and it looks like somehow Frisky MMO is going to live?
Frisky has no right being alive right now. There is no reason that Caitlyn is alive.
And the interrupt doesn't come through, he gets out!
Frisky gets to live! Oh, that hurts. It's an eye for an eye, a soul for a soul in the Rift as they trade another top kill for another kill on Gragas, which is good, but it still means Gragas needs to keep impacting lanes.
Slap Games, don't do this. TP's back in, but look who's in the area, ready to dive him already. The pings are coming out. Rams is on his way too. Slap Games, you have been sentenced to death via Rift Herald. Trying to get away. Hook shot, wall shot in. Able to lock down with that permafrost. Rams here just to pick up an assist. Get himself some extra hex cores and continue the stacking. And Velikos, 4-1 on this Camille. Started it a bit rough with that dive under tower that did not go their way, but absolutely has picked it up ever since. But look who's bot lane. It's Tigsy. Adamant's knocked back by the explosive guys. Flash over by Bama Jam. Uses to just get these autos in. Slow down Adamant. They're going for him, and Fritz is just chunking out with these burst fires. Hiding back on Frisky MMO, but look who's in the back line as well. The TP is coming from Velikos. The kill onto Frisky has come in by Fritz, and Fritz just running for his life. He says, Bama, I'm sorry. You gotta die for my sins. As in comes Velikos, and Rams picks up another kill. And the solo laners of Final Bastion, once again, the pillars of success right now. Fritz Lulu, the hope of Clown Gaming right now, 3-0-2 with a completed Kraken Slayer. If anybody's going to be able to carry this game, it's got to be Fritz.
Once again, it's an eye for an eye and a soul for a soul as that Inferno Dragon spawns. And, of course, Final Bastion...
Velikos is going for this. He looks at Frisky Lulu, but there's the hop over the wall, catches him under tower. The auto's coming in. Ultra Shock Laser slows him in our tower. That's a shutdown going to Fritz Lulu. This man is massive.
Velikons got caught in the Hextech Ultimatum. They trapped themselves. And that's a 550 gold bounty on his area.
And right now, it looks like Tigsy's trying to get away. Bama Jam pops that Wild Growth, trying to get him out. There's a Body Slam coming. They're on the Adamants, but it's not enough. As look who's here, it's Frisky MMO. The Body Slam comes in, not going to be able to catch him. Big explosive pass, catches him back, but knocks him in to give him an Arctic assault into the Glacial Prison to lock down Bama Jam. Bam Jam, thank you, ma'am. Down he goes, falling to Ram, and now they're on to Shiba. They're looking to keep the chase down going, and right now, it's Fritz versus the world. This is the man who needs to carry. He is the hope, the prayer of the Spartans. He is the Spartan warrior in this game.
Fritz's palms are sweaty, his knees are weak, his arms are heavy. But
is he having mom's spaghetti?
He's nervous, but he looks calm and ready to drop some bombs alongside the Fat Man onto Final Bastion to try to pull back this win. The problem is their towers are once again falling. They were able to take down Velikons. That is impressive, but ultimately that dragon fight did not go their way. And when we look at the Dragon's Soul here, it is a Mountain Soul, and that's going to be very difficult to deal with a Sejuani and Camille on the other team if they're able to claim it.
Absolutely. Tigsy found Velikos in the jungle, and Tigsy decides he does not want that smoke. But look who's here. It's Sport Boy in the bot lane, looking to get onto their only carry, Fritz Lulu. The Polymorph comes in just to disengage and run him away. Shiba and Tigsy threatening a rotation down. Ram still in this mid lane. And right now, in all honesty, it's a lot closer than it was in game number 1.
Oh, it is significantly closer. You can see by the kills. You can see by the gold. Last game, it was like 8K, 10-4. Now it's 10-9. Only a 3K gap. Of course, the Dragon's still firmly on the side of Final Bastion. But this time, you have the Fed Fritz Lulu ready to rock and roll and create a nice little surge on this Rift. If they can find an opening, maybe get a quadra kill, a triple kill in a team fight over a Rift Herald or a Dragon, you could see this Zeri fly to new levels.
So this is Fritz Lulu assisted by a Lulu. Does that make him Fritz Lulu squared? Or Fritz plus Lulu squared?
It would have to be Fritz plus Lulu squared.
Oh, hold on. Velikos going in under JK. Just able to try and get some damage off the hookshot wall shot, but Tigsy is here just trying to disengage. The Ignite and come in. It's not enough, though. And look at that true damage off the Precision Protocol. Chunks out a third of Trigsy's health.
I think there's a Camille Cube, though. And Camille Cubed hurts.
Absolutely hurts.
And Camille looking over the wall. They want to pull something on Shiba, but I don't think it's going to happen now that Fritz and Lulu have showed up. Oh my god, they're still going for it.
Still goes in, able to get that shield, polymorphed out, but catches Fritz Lulu with that Glacial Prism, the Hugify, and alongside the Wild Growth comes down. He's trying to kite back, not popping the Lightning Crash just yet, able to kite back and just able to get out of there. Luckily for Sport Boy, he was able to land that Glacial Prism, or else I think Fritz Lulu was about to pop off there.
That could have been game-changing for this Rift right here. If that Zeri was able to pull out the triple kill, or even like a double with Shiba getting a kill as well, that could have been massive. But we're still seeing Shiba still up and scaling. They've got 77 stacks right now, 77 splinters of Wrath ready to go. They're getting closer and closer to 100 as the game goes on. But it's starting to get really interesting as that third Dragon is up in a minute. That Rift Herald is going down in 30 seconds in place of Baron. They're going to try to claim it if they can. But
absolutely. They're really close right now.
If they get that Dragon, it is soul point. That Dragon,
absolutely.
I can only imagine, is going to be one of the game-deciding fights on this Rift in the next 50 seconds.
Absolutely. Herald is being taken away. It was about to despawn, but instead, the side of Final Bastion says, you know what, we're just going to take this. Thank you very much. Kid in his vision topside with the Skull Crab, and rotate down to set up around Dragon, where we're going to have a big fight break out soon enough. Ultimates available for just about everybody, aside from Fritz Lulu. The Lightning Crash not yet available. JK Slapdown, though, is in trouble, trying to run away from Rams. Does get the slow off the Intofo. Just going to struggle for the pullback. Not get anything, though. He's kiting back. But there is that Chaos Storm, and he just chunks out the Slap Games, and that's going to be another kill going over. Tixie's down too. Rams just running him down, uses that Death Laser, and takes down the jungle and top laner. This dragon is not contestable anymore. Meanwhile, look up topside. Velikos, completely uncontested with this Rift Herald, is looking to crack open the base. Shiba is here, lands the Scatter of the Week, getting a big chunk of damage out, takes about a third of his health. Meanwhile, Velikos going to back away, knowing his job has been done, pulling away the pressure, and an uncontested Soul Point Dragon going to go over to Final Bastion.
And I think the biggest problem we've seen there was Tinksy didn't know when to drop. He's been trying to be the hero all game, showing up every time his team needs him. But sometimes, when the fight's already gone, you have to drop it. Even if that means you go try to take Baron while they take Dragon, right? You can't keep going after it. Cassante is 1-5. He's worth a cannon minion at this point. It's not worth trading your life anymore for that warrior.
Absolutely, and First Lulu continues to be the only hope for this team, it feels like. Shiba the Dog, quietly 2-1-0, scaling up, getting these splinters, as we mentioned. Just trying to get themselves to these upgraded abilities. JK, I don't know if you want this, buddy. Slap Games is going in, gets locked down by the Permafrost. Trading these autos back and forth, trying to kite back, uses the Intofo Strike, will get the knockback up, uses the Pathmaker as well, getting some extra slows in. He's actually trading really well, goes all out, but over the wall goes Sports Boy, and he's just going to run away. Slap Games trying to run him down, go for the trade as well. Not going to be able to get anything though, but he is into the river now. He's going hard for this. He wants this kill, but look who's coming. Rams is on the assist. Adamans is on the assist. Slap Games, you've been baited, my friend. You've been outsmarted. And there is the Glacial Prism, and there comes the cleanup kill from Rams. Gonna yoink away the kill and get themselves to 7-2-3. A phenomenal game for Rams right now.
Baited, baited, baited. And we almost seen it again. Tigizzy trying to save him and realize this time, you put yourself too far in the deep end. Gonna back off, make sure that he's at least alive if they try to get Baron off that pick, which it doesn't look like.
So I guess you could say he's in the deep end, watch as he dives in. Will he ever leave the ground?
You crash to the surface where they can't hurt us? We're far from the shallows now?
Absolutely. In the shallows. Shallow. You know who's not in the shallows right now? Fritz Lulu looking to absolutely chunk out. Flash in Lightning Crash. Takes down Frisky MMO. Adaman's next on the list who has to flash away. It's turned into a squirrel. Just going to be running away. Sport Boy in the area though. But look who's here as well. It's Rams. The slow comes in. Get the Permafrost stun. Rams pops the Chaos Storm. The stopwatch comes in alongside the Wild Growth. A bit of miscommunication there. Over the wall, Fritz Lulu has to dash away with the Spark Surge. He will live. Able to be chunked down, though, by that Siphon Power. Velikos not wanting to quit, though. Just standing there, looking like a menace. Able to be interrupted, though, thanks to that Scatter of the Week. That's 4 members on them. Glacial Personnel is going to lock down Slap Games, who is not able to follow up the Scatter. The Unleashed Power is able to come out and chunk down Velikos. Not much going to come out from him, though. In the end, it is just 1-4-1.
But the biggest problem for Clown Gaming about what just occurred is the fact that that T1 tower went down for 2 minutes to that Soul Dragon spawning, which means all the map pressure is on their side. They had already lost bot, but that T1 was keeping mid in balance, but that isn't there anymore for them. The luxury is gone, and when they send in the clowns to try to fight that dragon, it will be do or die.
Absolutely. That will be where this game likely breaks open for the side of Final Bastion if they can secure it. 4 dragons to nothing if they secure that mountain soul of theirs. And Fritz Lulu has to be the man come this time. 5-0-2, working towards a Lord Dominance regard. Already has the Kraken Slayer and the Phantom Dancer, whereas Frisky himself, working towards, already has the Gale Force, going for that Infinity Edge. But look at Rams. He's working towards a really funny hat. He's already got his big 2 items. Seraph's Embrace now with that Lifeline passive. Such a strong item. But that Death Cap going to make him even harder to deal with. Lightning Crash comes in, but Frisky MMO able to net away. But in comes Velikos, able to lock down. Frisky Lulu uses the explosive cast Tigsy does to disengage, able to peel off for his carry, save the life of a friend and the carry. That is the only hope of this game. Well, those are big cooldowns that are not going to be up for this dragon. That is the Lightning Crash, that is the Wild Growth, and that is the Explosive Cask, all expended just for the Hextech Ultimatum.
And what does Zeri do here without Lightning Crash? That is terrifying. But Clown knows they need to fight this. That Mountain Soul will make people like Velikos completely unkillable. So right now it's about pushing on that mid-wave, finding your way into that river, and praying to God that a slip-up occurs from the side of Final Bastion and that you're able to capitalize it. Right now, though, it's looking like a 4v4 about to break out on this river.
Absolutely. Bam and Jam just trying to run away. We see Velikos up in that top side, just grabbing some... In goes Adamaz, though, able to land the dredge line onto the wall. The Shrelias is forced to peel and disengage. Velikos has joined the team. We are in a 5v5 in this mid lane. Dragon has spawned.
Syndra's one splinter away from 100.
Oh, they're in, though. Slap Games is instantly chunks, as is Tiggy. Rams is chunking out through this fight, and that is a massive threat fight going around. Game, why did you close on me? There was 2 kills.
Zeri is trying to peel him up. She's going to hop the wall, but the Ignite's going to take her down, and Sheba, the last man standing for Clown Gaming under the T2 turret mid lane. That Mountain Drake going to fall to Final Bastion, and that is sole claim along with 4 lives of Final Bastion.
Absolutely. Thank you, Riot Games, for absolutely screwing me in that fight and closing my client as soon as it started. Big thank you, Romy, for taking over there. But yeah, absolute domination in that fight by Final Bastion, getting themselves a Mountain Soul and taking down so many members. Specifically, Fritz looked like he had made it out, but the burn off of Sports Boy was enough to take him down in the end. And this is just complete control over this map now for the side of Final Bastion. The one thing to note, with all of them having shields, that means Zeri now has infinite shields to siphon. Does it mean much? No, but it's still cool.
Now, I mean, I think it's just you go Baron, you march down mid. Can Fritz do anything?
Hold on, Tigsy's looking for something. Frisky's overstayed here. He's alone. Body slam. Gale forced away from. Forces out the TP, though, and Tigsy's on his own. Rams is here as well. There's the explosive cast right into Slap Game, but look at that. Chunked out. All out under the tower, though, and that is a 1-for-1 in the end. Rams gets bursted out after he annihilates Tigsy.
But it went to the wrong guy. It went to Slap Games, and let's be honest, 1,000 gold on Fritz could change the game. 1,000 gold on Slap Games is, I mean, he's still gonna be homeless next week.
Absolutely. He went from having soup to dinner to having soup and beans.
Yeah, I mean, like, the beans is nice, but it's not looking
Exactly.
great.
He can get beans. Zeri could have gotten some nice foie gras, but no,
she
instead she stuck with
the
just
TSA. She could have put it in the stonks market and seen it rise to the roof, but all Cassandra can do is buy beans. And beans,
absolutely.
they just
and Velikos going in, on to Bama Jam. Bam, Jam, goodbye, ma'am. Taken down off the Precision Protocol Q2. Just annihilated. And there goes the support. And looks like they're going to peel off right now and head towards this Baron, as you mentioned. Be ready to shove this thing down the mid lane, shove it down Clown Gaming's throat, saying, you know what, you put up a good fight, but we're done with this. We're done playing. Rams 12-3-3 on this victor at the moment. This has to be up to Fritz Lulu to try and pull something off. They're just taking this Baron, though, no contest.
Tigizzy didn't elect to try to steal it. That is insane to me, to be honest. That you wouldn't at least go for a steal this late into the game. It's the Hail Mary you need. You're 11k down, and they didn't go for the steal, and now it's just about Final Bastion running down that mid lane and destroying what's left. The Rabadabadoo is on to you as Rams has picked up the funny hat, and they're just marching along.
Velikos going over the wall, instantly chunks out back. jam, and there goes Hook on to the Zeri. That is the massive carry, locked down by the Hextech Ultimatum, going to be taken down, not just yet, does fall in the end, that's the carry gone. Tixie trying to do what he can, just trying to run away, but that is also Bam a Jam trying to run. That is 4 members down, the last man standing, Sheba the dog, just a sad puppy looking for their owner on their own, not much they can do. Scat of the week on to 2. This is just going to be the final Bastion, finally ending this game. You said you wanted a thresh, we didn't see it in the end, but what we did see, my friend, was a death sentence, as Final Bastion is going to shove this down through the mid lane and end Clown Gaming's hopes of bringing this to a Game 3, as Final Bastion improves themselves 8-0, 4-0 series win, will take themselves continuing their undefeated streak. And that was just domination all around. Rams played so well that game. We saw Velikos take over last game. This was Rams' game to shine.
Yeah, Rams going 14-3. I mean, Sport Boy, unkillable, 0 deaths on that ref. And although we definitely seen some improvement from Clown Gaming as that game went on, we've seen them actually focus their strong side. It just felt like the weak points there were too many holes in the ship to stop it from sinking.
Absolutely. It looked like there was hope at the beginning. Both laners kind of getting some kills. We saw Fritz Lulu and Bama Jam with the help of Chigsy get an early lead bot side. JK Slap Games was able to get Velikos to dive under tower and pick up a solo kill there. Chigsy looked like he had control over the map for a while, but then Velikos and Rams just started to take over, and Sport Boy continued to be all over the map. Fritz Lulu and Sheba played the best they could, tried to do all they could, but it was not enough in the end, as Final Bastion proved that among all else, they are inevitable.
And with that means still 3 teams undefeated at the top of the board. Of course, there's Never Lucky, Final Bastion, and... Whoa, I'm drawing a blank on the third one here. Please.
Spartan Shields.
Spartan Shields, thank you. However, Spartan Shields have dropped to individual games. They've never dropped a series.
In their defense, they have played more games overall due to the fact that they currently sit 5-0. Final Bastion currently sit 4-0. Never Lucky sit 3-0. Never Lucky and Final Bastion were scheduled to play, but that has been rescheduled for later into the year. We'll have to see exactly how that plays out there, but it will be a question. Who is the final undefeated team standing? And Final Bastion making a statement today as to why it will be them. 8-0, dominant fashion, even with an E-sub jungler.
That being said, one of the undefeated streaks still have a chance of being broken tonight at 8 p.m. when Never Lucky plays once again to try to keep their reign of dominance on top.
Absolutely. Never Lucky going to be taking on Orbit Gaming, and that will be a fun matchup to watch. I believe it is 9 o'clock Eastern right here, same channel. I will be back. I will be joined by Lucan, and we'll have a great show for you guys, hopefully. But yeah, this has been absolute domination by the side of Final Bastion.
However, I'm not going to lie. Clown Gaming, a lot more, especially with 2 E-subs, I got to say, still an impressive performance by them. They're sitting in the middle of the table. I would very much be surprised if they didn't make playoffs this season. I think I'd be really interested to see them with their full comp together and maybe get a rematch of this down the line when they have all their pieces together, because I think that could have been game-changing.
Absolutely. We saw Fritz and Sheba have those good moments, but Velikos was able to really open things up against Slap Games, and I'm wondering how Clown Gaming Spartans would function with their full 5-man roster. I'd absolutely love to see a rematch between these two squads come playoffs when things really kick up into action.
So many stories in Phoenix Esports are being made as we get closer and closer to the halfway point of the season. But with that being said, it was a pleasure casting this game. I don't know, are we doing interviews tonight? Or for this one?
I do not know. That is a good question. I will wait for word from our producer Snow, who will give us the thumbs up or the thumbs down if we're going to get anybody over here from Final Bastion. I'm going to take some silence as a no at the moment, so I'm going to guess that we are done for now. We will be back here later tonight. As mentioned, we'll all be back here. Romeo, thank you for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure casting with you, man. Fun time was had all around.
And of course, thanks to Bickle for being a superb play-by-play caster. And of course, thanks to Snow for once again producing. I think he's also producing later tonight. So yeah, you can see Bickle and Lucan tonight as for the 9 p.m. game as Never Lucky tries to defend their undefeated streak.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that's all we have here tonight. Well, that's all we have here at this moment. We'll be back here tonight, 9 o'clock. Never Lucky taking on, as we mentioned, their undefeated streak, trying to defend it against Orbit Gaming. That's all we have here for you tonight. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you in a couple hours.